are live. Welcome to my midterms presentation. Primary characteristics of classicism and how they're reflected in 18th century music. Alright, let's get this thing started in here. So, this presentation is by me, Lincoln. The introduction. The 18th century was influenced by the characteristics of classicism, and in this presentation I'll be talking about said influence and the composers of this era. Many generational composers came out of this era of music, such as Joseph Haydn, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, and the early works of Beethoven. We'll go over the defining traits of classicism and musical examples of these defining traits. First, the description. Classicism was a style that emerged in the 18th century that emphasized balance, order, and proportion, as well as emotional restraint. Classicism values elegant melodies, clear harmonies, and well-structured forms, which reflects ideals of the Enlightenment era of music. The composers of the era exemplified this idea of classicism impact by creating music that was both emotionally expressive and very well organized. The composers of this era. The most notable composers of this time were Haydn, Mozart, and Beethoven. Haydn contributed over 100 symphonies to the genre. He established the four-movement structure which gave him the nickname Father of the Symphony. One such symphony being Symphony 94 in G major, nicknamed Surprise. Beethoven wrote 32 sonatas during his lifetime, which made up his entire compositional repertoire. One of his most popular sonatas was the Moonlight Sonata, which was written in the three-movement format. Composers continued. Mozart specifically was and still is the most influential of the three composers, in my opinion. Mozart's large-scale composition, his Requiem, was hailed as the masterpiece of the era, and two of his most notable compositions of his lifetime were Dies Irae from his Requiem and his Piano Concerto in G major. We're going to talk about his compositions. First, the Dies Irae. This piece contains four soloists, one soprano, alto, tenor, and bass, a four-part chorus featuring a soprano, alto, tenor, and bass section, and an orchestra containing an alto-range clarinet and bassoon. This piece reflects the clarity and emotional expression that the music of classicism exemplifies. It follows clear phrases and patterns in contrast and dynamics to reflect order and balance. To give emotional expression, Mozart balances the lyrical intensity with restraint in the pauses between sections and the limits of the soloist following the trombone and the tuba mirum section. And then a YouTube link if you want to, go listen to Dies Irae. And then we've got his Piano Concerto in G major. This piece contains a piano soloist and an orchestra that notably doesn't contain trumpets or timpanis, which is common in his lighter concertos. It follows his ideals of clarity and balance and controlled emotion. The clarity and balance comes from the question and answer 2 to 4 measure phrases in the piece. This is exemplified in the dialogue between the orchestra and piano being orderly. In the piece, emotions are expressive and restrained, showing elegance rather than drama, which is exactly what he was going for, and further exemplifying the ideas of classicism. Some fun facts. Dies Irae translate directly to Day of Wrath. Mozart passed away whilst writing his Requiem, and his star pupil Franz Xaver Sassomier, I have no idea if I pronounced that correctly, finished his Requiem in his absence. And Haydn's symphony, nicknamed Surprise, is nicknamed like that for its loud chord right before the B section. Thank you very much. This will be where the YouTube link is, Professor, if you want to, listen to the voiceover. Thanks. See ya. Adios.